All right, today's notes will be on function notation. So we're going to start off with f of x equals 5x plus 6. And so instead of a y, we have the f and then parentheses of x. And that's read as the function of x. X becomes the input, and then the 5x plus 6 is the output. So the f of x basically replaces y, and we use it to show what we're exactly plugging into the equation. So using that same function, I'm going to show you how to plug in some numbers. So let's say we plug in -2. So it goes inside the parentheses, and then it goes in the x spot. So that becomes 5 times -2 plus 6, which is -10 plus 6, which is -4. So the -2 is the x, and the -4 is the y, and we can write it as the coordinate -2, -4. Then we can plug in -1. You guys see it goes into the x spot with parentheses around it, and we get 1 as our y value, so we would say f of -1 equals 1. And we can also write it as coordinate. Now we can plug in 0, and we would get 6. So we would say f of 0 equals 6. Hopefully you guys are starting to pick up on the pattern here. So next we've got f of 1. If we plug that in, it's 5 times 1 plus 6, which is 11. So f of 1 equals 11. That's supposed to say 11. Okay, there we go. Now we can plug in 2. So f of 2 equals 5 times 2 plus 6, so 10 plus 6 is 16. So we would say f of 2 equals 16, or 2 comma 16. Let's do another function. 2x minus 7. So let's say we plug in 6, so that would be 2 times 6 minus 7, which is 12 minus 7, which is 5. So we would say f of 6 equals 5. So f of -4 would mean that we do 2 times -4 minus 7, which is -8 minus 7, which is -15. So f of -4 equals -15. Here's another function. Let's say it's -3x plus 1. And then we have g of x is 5 plus x. So we can use it to say that there's a few different equations. So we have an f equation and a g equation. So if we say f of -1, we plug it into the f equation. So f of -1 equals 4. And then we can also plug that into the g equation. So g of -1 means we do 5 plus -1, and that equals 4 as well. So g of -1 also equals 4. So now we ask ourselves the question, does f of -1 equal g of -1? Since they both equal 4, we would say yes. So let's say we have f of x equals 1/2 x plus 3. And I want to know f of -6, so I plug in -6, and that equals 0. So f of -6 equals 0. Now I want to know what x is if f of x equals 4. So this is the different equation. So that means that we set our equation equal to 4, and then we solve for x. So we're going to subtract 3 from both sides. We're doing SADMET order. Multiply by 2 to get rid of our denominator, and we get x equals 2. So when it says f of x equals something, then that means that you plug your equation in and set it equal to that number.